Although, before I do any of that stuff, proceeding on to the finale, there's one other thing I need to cross off my list. Something I promised quite a long time ago, and that maybe I shouldn't have. I think my throat will be quite angry at me for having done so, but I'm not going to renege on my promises. So I said I would do a bestiary episode where I read through the bestiary, its entries, in its entirety. And I will be doing that, but first I figured I might as well include the mighty Zote's precepts as well, all 47 of them. Let's get started. Precept 12. Keep your cloak dry. If your cloak gets wet, dry it as soon as you can. Wearing wet cloaks is unpleasant and can lead to illness. Okay, that's actually good solid advice if you're going out trekking in the wilderness. Precept 13. Never be afraid. Fear can only hold you back. Facing your fears can be a tremendous effort. Therefore, you should just not be afraid in the first place. Simple enough. Nothing to fear except fear itself, except if you don't fear anything, in which case you have nothing to fear. Precept 14. Respect your superiors. If someone is your superior in strength or intellect, or both, you need to show them your respect. Don't ignore them or laugh at them. And that is why Zote never gets ignored or laughed at, because he is the mightiest of all. Precept 15. One foe, one blow. You should only use a single blow to defeat an enemy. Any more is a waste. Also, by counting your blows as you fight, you'll know how many foes you've defeated. Ah, he's a fan of the 1/1 kill samurai method. Precept 16. Don't hesitate. Once you've made a decision, carry it out and don't look back. You'll achieve much more this way. That is a precept I could stand to learn from, that is absolutely for damn sure. Precept 17. Believe in your strength. Others may doubt you, but there's someone you can always trust, yourself. Make sure to believe in your own strength, and you will never falter. Be sure to believe in you. Be sure to believe in the you that believes in you. Precept 18. Seek truth in the darkness. This precept also explains itself. Well, yeah, duh, that should be obvious. Precept 19. If you try, succeed. If you're going to attempt something, make sure you achieve it. If you do not succeed, then you have actually failed. Avoid this at all costs. I know failure all too well. Teach me your ways of success, Zote. Precept 20. Speak only the truth. When speaking to someone, it is courteous and also efficient to speak truthfully. Beware, though, that speaking truthfully may make you enemies. This is something you'll have to bear. That's actually a surprisingly deep statement. That actually brings in mind something I've watched recently. I've been getting back into The Daily Show. I like it as a source of both comedy and news somewhat. I know I shouldn't use it as a source of news at all, but I'm lazy. Please don't hate me too much. But yeah, there's a specific segment on, was it yesterday's episode or the one before that? One of the two. Where they ended up covering a politician, a Democrat, who is trying to win an election somewhere for some position. I think it might have been for the no, it couldn't be for the House because that's not for another for like another 2 years. It was for some like low-level state electable position. But he was doing so on the platform of being entirely honest. On his website, there's actually a page about all of the sex that he's had with all the people and all the styles and whatnot. And his reason for doing so, and specifically that, is he wants to get that out of the way, so that way, like, you know that you can trust him, you know that he's going to tell you everything about himself. Because if he's willing to tell you something that is seen as embarrassing as that in our culture, why would he hide anything else? And that's actually fairly reasonable, and the amusing thing about that little segment was The Daily Show got a panel of people who said, yeah, they absolutely trust him, but they probably wouldn't elect him to office because of the his sex accolades, and it's like, that just shows you how incredibly insipidly stupid a lot of people can be. Like, you trust the guy, but you wouldn't elect him? Why? Why exactly do these things that he's done make him ineligible for office? Anyway, this precept just reminded me of that. Precept 21. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't just walk along staring at the ground. You need to look up every so often to make sure nothing takes you by surprise. The thing that every video game developer hopes their players do, only to find out that they won't unless they are guided. Precept 22. Abandon the nest. As soon as I could, I left my birthplace and made my way out into the world. Do not linger in the nest. There is nothing for you there. Okay, come on, the economy's tough, okay? Get off my back. Precept 23. Identify the foe's weak point. Every foe you encounter has a weak point, such as a crack in their shell or being asleep. You must constantly be alert and scrutinizing your enemy to detect their weaknesses. And be sure to hit their weak point for massive damage. Precept 24. Strike the foe's weak point. Oh, okay, so it was actually getting to that. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Once you have identified your foe's weak point as per the previous precept, strike it. This will instantly destroy them. Precept 25. Protect your own weak point. Be aware that your foe will try to identify your weak point, so you must protect it. The best protection? Never having a weak point in the first place. Damn, Zote would do good at Titan Souls. Precept 26. Don't trust your reflection. When peering at certain shining surfaces, you may see a copy of your own face. The face will mimic your movements and seem similar to your own, but I don't think it can be trusted. Precept 27. Eat as much as you can. When having a meal, eat as much as you possibly can. This gives you extra energy and means you can eat less frequently. The Hedonism Bot Precept. Precept 28. Don't peer into the darkness. Wait, aren't you just contradicting yourself, your earlier precepts now, Zote? Maybe he isn't as trustworthy as he initially seemed. Well, let's let him elaborate. If you peer into the darkness and can't see anything for too long, your mind will start to linger over old memories. Memories are to be avoided as per Precept 4. Okay, he is keeping his earlier precepts in mind, okay. I was a fool for thinking for even an instant that I couldn't trust you utterly, Zote. Please, forgive me and tell me your next precept. Precept 29. Develop your sense of direction. It's easy to get lost when traveling through winding, twisting caverns. Having a good sense of direction is like having a magical map inside of your head. Very useful. If only I had that ability, Zote, I wouldn't have to rely on Cornifer, but we all can't be as mighty as you. Precept 30. Never accept a promise. Spurn the promises of others, as they are always broken. Promises of love or betrothal are to be avoided especially. A loner. Not surprising, you always struck me as a lone wolf, Zote. Precept 31. Disease lives inside of dirt. You'll get sick if you spend too much time in filthy places. If you are staying in someone else's home, demand the highest level of cleanliness from your host. Zote would not like my home, I think. I'm a bit of a litterbug. Precept 32. Names have power. Names have power, and so to name something is to grant it power. I myself named my nail Lifeender. Do not steal the name I came up with. Invent your own. Oh, very good thing I listened through up to this precept, otherwise I never would have been aware of this mechanic. I could have been naming my nail this entire time, and I would have been so much better off. Why did the game never tell me about this beforehand? That seems like a bit of a mistake, developers. Learn from Zote. Precept 33. Show the enemy no respect. Being gallant to your enemies is no virtue. If someone opposes you, they don't deserve respect or kindness or mercy. Oh, I'm trying so hard to live by all these precepts, but I'm just not sure if I can muster that one. I do believe kindness is a virtue, and I guess that's my failing and why I'll never be as mighty as Zote. It's the curse of my mind. Precept 34. Don't eat immediately before sleeping. This can cause restlessness and indigestion. It's just common sense. Damn, Zote must have got his doctorate degree at some point, his medical doctorate. He clearly knows a lot about that sort of stuff. Precept 35. Up is up, down is down. Left is left, right is right, B is B, and A is A. If you fall over in the darkness, it can be easy to lose your bearing and forget which way is up. Keep this precept in mind. Precept 36. Eggshells are brittle. Once again, this precept explains itself. Precept 37. Borrow, but do not lend. If you lend and are repaid, you gain nothing. If you borrow, but do not repay, you gain everything. Precept 38. Beware the mysterious force. A mysterious force bears down on us from above, pushing us downwards. If you spend too long in the air, the force will crush you against the ground and destroy you. Beware. Oh wow, I didn't realize your last name was Newton, Zote. Damn. Precept 39. Eat quickly and drink slowly. Your body is a delicate thing, and you must fuel it with great deliberation. Food must go in as fast as possible, but fluids at a slower rate. Yep, as I thought, he clearly must have a doctorate in medical science stuff. Okay, it's hard to keep coming up with witty comments on everything he says, but quote-unquote witty. Please forgive me if my brain stumbles a little bit. I'm near the end though. I'm pretty sure he said he had 47, right? It wasn't more than that. Precept 40. Obey no law but your own. Laws written by others may inconvenience you or be a burden. Let your own desires be the only law. Ooh, bit of a Randy in there, aren't you? I guess even the mighty Zote has his faults. Precept 41. Learn to detect lies. When others speak, they usually lie. Scrutinize and question them relentlessly until they reveal their deceit. Ah, the Jack Bauer method. Or the Bush/Obama administration method as well. Precept 42. Spend Geo when you have it. Some will cling on to their Geo, even taking it into the dirt with them when they die. It is better to spend it when you can, so you can enjoy various things in life. Basically, don't be a miser. Good advice, Zote. Precept 43. Never forgive. If someone asks forgiveness of you, for instance, a brother of yours, always deny it. The brother, or whoever it is, doesn't deserve such a thing. You have any issues you're keeping down, Zote? I mean, I'm sure you don't. You're too mighty to have that, but I'm just saying, just as an example. Precept 44. You cannot breathe water. Water is refreshing, but if you try to breathe it in, you are in for a nasty shock. Bugs are not fish. Part 10 of JoJo. Precept 45. One thing is not another. This one should be obvious, but I've had others try to argue that one thing, which is clearly what it is and not something else, is actually some other thing, which it isn't. Stay on your guard. Ah, this must be the cornerstone to Zote's entire worldview. I just get the feeling. I'll be sure to study that precept deeply. Precept 46. The world is smaller than you think. When young, you tend to think that the world is vast, huge, gigantic. It's only natural. Unfortunately, it's actually quite a lot smaller than that. I can say this, now having traveled everywhere in the land. Yeah, this world is quite tiny indeed, almost as if it's made to fit on a single screen. Precept 47. Make your own weapon. Only you know exactly what is needed in your weapon. I myself fashioned Life Ender from shellwood at a young age. It has never failed me, nor I it. Ah, a challenging sort. You're doing the wooden sword only challenge run. You never fail to impress, Zote. Oh no, there's more than 47. Okay, I'm in for the long haul. Precept 48. Be careful with fire. Fire is a type of hot spirit that dances about recklessly. It can warm you and provide light, but it will also singe your shell if it gets too close. Precept 49. Statues are meaningless. Do not honor them. No one has ever made a statue of you or I, so why should we pay them any attention? Precept 50. Don't linger on mysteries. Some things in this world appear to us as puzzles, or enigmas. If the meaning behind something is not immediately evident though, don't waste any time thinking about it. Just move on. Or check the Steam discussion page. Precept 51. Nothing is harmless. Given the chance, everything in this world will hurt you. Friends, foes, monsters, uneven paths. Be suspicious of them all. Precept 52. Beware the jealousy of fathers. Fathers believe that because they created us, we must serve them and never exceed their capabilities. If you wish to forge your own path, you must vanquish your father, or simply abandon him. Anything about your past you want to tell us, Zote? Just saying. Precept 53. Do not steal the desires of others. Every creature keeps their desires locked up inside of themselves. If you catch a glimpse of another's desires, resist the urge to claim them as your own. It will not lead you to happiness. Precept 54. If you lock something away, keep the key. Nothing should be locked away forever, so hold on to your keys. You'll eventually return and unlock everything you hid away. Precept 55. Bow to no one. There are those in this world who would impose their will on others. They claim ownership over your food, your land, your body, and even your thoughts. They have done nothing to earn these things. Never bow to them, and make sure to disobey their commands. And also make sure, ultimately, to eat them. Eat the rich. Precept 56. Do not dream. Dreams are dangerous things. Strange ideas, not your own, can worm their way into your mind. But if you resist those ideas, sickness will rack your body. Best not to dream at all, like me. How do you pass the time then at night, Zote? You must just continue with your adventures. No wonder you've explored everything in this vast world. You simply have more time available to you. Precept 57. Obey all precepts. Most importantly, you must commit all of these precepts to memory and obey them all unfailingly, including this one. Have you truly listened to everything I've said? Let's start again and repeat the 57 precepts of Zote. Precept 1. Always win your battles. Losing a battle earns you nothing and teaches you nothing. Win your battles or don't engage in them at all. Okay, yeah, he is repeating himself. Oh boy, so 57, not 47. I was off on my count by 1 digit. And unfortunately it was the larger digit, but it is what it is. Oh, I forgot to do something, damn. Apparently, if you happen across the Elderbug while carrying that flower, he actually has some dialogue to say. I meant to show that off, but I forgot. It's not related to completion or anything, but I still wanted to check that out. Oh well, I'll look that up later, and you can as well if you're interested. Okay, so learning all those precepts was quite a lot to take on my mind, so I'm just gonna rest here while I'm showered in Salubra's love, and here is where I'll read the bestiary. Let's go all the way to the top. What's the quickest way of doing that? Right stick, right. Okay, Crawlid. Timid scavenger that crawls through the caverns looking for food. Dull and pathetic, hardly worth killing. Vengefly, flying predator that pursues its prey relentlessly. This fierce little hunter will bravely chase down creatures many times its size. Admirable. It is weak though, and I have devoured hundreds of them with little effort or care. Vengefly King. Patriarch of a Vengefly colony. Swoops at intruders and cries out for reinforcements if threatened. A filthy creature that is happy to chew on any old thing it finds discarded on the cavern floor. When it notices a threat, it will annoyingly scream and shriek, so kill it swiftly. Gruzzer. Simple-minded creature that haphazardly buzzes around, bumping into things. No color commentary here, I'm afraid. Gruz Mother. Mature gruzzer that carries its young in its belly. Attacks by hurling its huge body around. Bizarrely, this monster does not lay eggs, but instead carries its young inside of its fat stomach. This strange practice seems to exhaust the creature, making it sleepy and vulnerable. Take advantage. Ah, a viviparous bug. Interesting. Tick-tick. Uses its small, sharp claws to climb along walls and roofs. Spends its time tap-tap-tapping its way through the roads and caverns near the surface of this kingdom. If you're patient, you can wait for it to come to you and pick it off. Aspid Hunter. Bests its prey by spitting corrosive liquid, often hunts in packs. Cunning predators that will try to pick you off from a distance. Don't give them any space, just charge in and cut them down. You'll find they're not so cunning once they are dead. Aspid Mother. Carries the eggs of its young inside its belly, can hatch and birth its young as needed to deal with intruders. Shamelessly uses its own young as a weapon against its foes. Appalling, yes, but I do admire its resourcefulness. Good hunters do not always make good parents. Aspid Hatchling. Recently birthed, these young aspid instinctively swarm around intruders. These hatchlings are born with an instinct to kill. They are still only infants though, and you can crush them between your fangs without thinking. Just don't let them overwhelm you with numbers. Gome. Thickly armored, it bursts from the ground to seize prey in its fangs. These brutes seem to be impervious to most damage, so you can sharpen your weapons on their thick hide, or just slash away at them for your own amusement. They barely seem to notice. Wandering Husk. The remains of a bug animated by a strange force. Wanders the roads where it once lived. These civilized bugs of Hollownest were weak in life, and now they are equally weak in death. Send them back into the dirt they were born in. Husk Hornhead. Okay, I think I might ignore the first description for most of these since it's rather plain. It's the beast descriptions that are interesting. These bugs have an arrogant air about them, even after dying. Overly proud of their long horns. I enjoy snapping them off. Leaping Husk. The bugs of Old Hollownest did not hunt their own food, they had it brought to them. That's why they were so weak, that's why their kingdom crumbled into dust and faded away. Husk Bully. A thick orange mist fills these walking corpses. It has a sweet, sickly taste to it. I find it foul. After you kill these creatures, I suggest you do not eat them. Husk Warrior. Husk God. Entombed Husk. Inside these shambling corpses is a bright light that pierces any darkness. I peered inside that light once and saw something within it shining back. Something horrible. False Knight. Weak creatures love to steal the strength of others. Their lives are brief and fearful, and they yearn to have the power to dominate those who have dominated them. Maggot. Weakest members of the Kingdom of Hollownest, generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. Consisting mainly of sweet fat, these helpless creatures make excellent provisions for long journeys, best roasted over open flame. If they try to bargain for their life, just ignore them. They have nothing to offer. Life Seed. The bright liquid inside of these little fellows is delicious, and drinking it will make you feel stronger. I wonder how my own innards taste. Would it be a heinous thing to try and drink some? Balder. Younger hunters delight in catching these creatures and rolling them around for sport. I encourage you to indulge yourself if the fancy strikes you. Hold on, there's a little bit of funniness going on. Just want to make sure that things are alright. Okay, they should be. I really hope this recording doesn't end up corrupted like one of the previous ones. That would be incredibly infuriating. Knock on glass. I don't have wood around. Elder Balder. As they age, these creatures become too heavy and lumpy to roll around freely. Instead, they curl up and hide from the wolves. What do they think of in there, wrapped up inside of themselves? More carefree times, perhaps. Moss Creep. I used to think these things were merely ambling plants. When I learned they were actually living creatures, I began to kill them on sight. This is the nature of the hunt. Mossfly. They spend their whole lives hiding or fleeing. How sad. Or perhaps that is the life they chose for themselves and they enjoy it. It's a strange thought, but not impossible. Mosskin. Volatile mosskin. The gas that seeps from their growth smells invitingly sweet, but it will burn through shell and flesh if you get too close. Fool Eater. You really would have to be a fool to be tricked by a plant. Oh yeah, that's obvious, buddy, and I've never been tricked by a fool eater, no, because I am not a fool. I follow the precepts of Zote the Mighty. Squid. When they lunge at you, don't panic. Stand your ground and strike back as they come close. Obel. Does it realize what a nuisance it is? Drifting around, spilling its noxious juices everywhere it goes. If you see any, make sure to kill them. Gulka. Its leaves are dry and bland. The bud is unpleasantly sour, but oh, the venom in the balls it spits, exquisite. If you have the time to spare, try drinking some and enjoy the effects. Moss Charger. It's small, but it finds a lot of courage and strength once it covers itself in foliage. And I can understand the desire to camouflage oneself. Massive Moss Charger. There is strength in numbers, yes, but these creatures never had much strength to begin with. Cut through their trickery. Mossy Vagabond. Slow, fat, and easily vanquished. Common threads in those who forget their calling and forsake their duties. Aluba. What careless a life... Wait. What careless a life led... God damn it. Aluba. What careless a life led drifting above us all. If one ever comes to okay, wow. I think my brain is shorting out from all this reading, or something. If one ever comes too close to the ground, though. Charged Lumafly. They usually drift about peacefully, but sometimes they cluster together and spit out a sharp, crackling flash that will stun and burn even large beasts like myself. Watch closely for an opening and move past them quickly. Uoma. The spirit of a dead ancestor. The brain of a larger creature, allowed to drift free. An egg, searching for a safe place to spawn. I have no idea what this is. Ooma. Ghastly, eerie creature made out of thick liquid. You can peer right through them, and can't see where they keep their thoughts. I don't trust them at all. Keep away. Uumu. The canyon below us, the one thick with fog and crackling with strange energy. A hunter can lose their senses down there. Be careful, strange and unnatural things lurk there. Ambloom. Lie on your belly, open your maw, and let this tasty morsel stroll straight into your stomach. Fungling. Just a child, it drifts about with closed eyes and an open mind. When I was young, my brothers and sisters and I would hunt each other in the nest. Now I hunt alone. Fungoon. So round. I don't think I've seen a rounder creature than this. This world certainly hides some marvelous creatures. I must hunt them all down. Fungified Husk. The bugs of Hollow Nest are so pathetic that being infected by poisonous fungi has actually increased their chances of survival. They really are absurd creatures. Shroomling. Looks like an ordinary mushroom until you get close, then it pops out of the ground and starts scurrying around blindly. Very, very amusing. Shroomal Ogre. Are these hulking things beasts, or are they mushrooms? I cut one in half and peed inside to find out, but could find no answers in its soft, stinking insides. Mantis Youth. As it grows, it loses the ability to fly. Passage into adulthood is often celebrated, but as time goes by, we realize what we have lost. Mantis Warrior. If you venture too deep into the fungal forests, these warriors will stand in your way. What is it they guard, deep at the bottom of their territory? Mantis Lords. The Mantis tribe and the bugs of Old Hollow Nest had no love for each other. The Mantises outlived their rivals though, and their civilization still stands. Husk Sentry. More skilled at combat than most bugs of Hollow Nest, they are nimble but lightly armored. Keep the pressure on them. Heavy Sentry. One of the few in Hollow Nest strong enough to wield a great nail. Surprisingly quick-witted for a corpse. It will try to catch you if you leap over it and can chase you if you flee. Enjoyable to hunt, but beware them in packs. Winged Sentry. Dances through the air just out of reach until it spots an opening, then swoops in for a decisive strike. If you're confident, wait for it to come to you, then counterattack. Lance Sentry. This devious foe will often keep its distance and try to pick you off with its thrown weapons. When it charges at you, leap up and strike it down. Mistake. Once a highly intelligent bug, deformed by the misuse of soul. These fools meddled with the soul of other creatures and lost their shape. Now they shulk through the shadows of their sanctum like slugs, hoping their old brothers will build them new bodies. Folly. I've heard whispers that the secret those fools were searching for was immortality. To live forever. I've never heard of anything so obscene. Soul Twister. I have heard others talk about soul, but I do not understand what it actually is. I do know that freshly killed meat tastes best. Is that because the soul still clings to it? Soul Warrior. Where these strange warriors go, whispers follow them. Not only are they skilled with a nail, they can also use some strange power to shift suddenly from place to place. Stay on guard. Soul Master. Head of the Soul Sanctum, hoarded soul hoping to stave off Hollow Nest's affliction, but eventually became intoxicated by its power. The bugs of Hollow Nest tried all kinds of tricks and rituals and prayers to rid themselves of the infection, but to no avail. Perhaps the infection came from somewhere deep inside of them that they could not escape. Husk Dandy. It seems the weakest, greediest members of Hollow Nest were also the ones who exerted the most influence. Truly a kingdom that was always destined for ruin. Cowardly Husk. The fearful, cowardly nature of these Hollow Nest bug persists even after death. It almost feels shameful to chase and cut them down. Gluttonous Husk. As these bugs become wealthier, they hunted less and consumed more. eventually taking on a grotesque shape not unlike overripe fruit. Gorgeous Husk. There is beauty in many things, reflections of light and water, the taste of freshly killed meat, the cry of a hatchling for its mother. I have never understood the lust for metals and stones, though. Great Husk Sentry. An extremely rare thing, a bug of hollowness that actually poses a threat. Watch them carefully as they can lash out quickly with devastating strikes. Watcher Knight. When these silent warriors fell in battle, their bodies split open and strange bugs come flying out. I wonder, what will come flying out of me when I die? Will my hopes and fears drift away into the darkness? The Collector. A shadow that sometimes flits through the caverns, making strange noises to itself. I've never seen it clearly, so I have no idea what type of creature it is. Bellfly. An angry creature with no regard for its own life. A creature without fear. Can it truly be called prey? Pill Flip. Adaptability is an important survival skill. If a problem seems insurmountable, try approaching it from a different angle. Wump. Extremely amusing creature. Blugsack. Easily tracked down if you have a sense of smell. If you find one of its eggs, I strongly suggest you don't eat it. Dung Defender. Fighting for honor or for loyalty, you may as well be fighting for dust. If you want to kill, do it for your own sake. That is the true nature of a hunter. Fluke Fay. Seems to want to latch onto any living thing that comes by with its sharp little teeth. It will leave its cousins alone though, so it isn't completely mindless. Flukemon. Dangerous, unpredictable foes that infest the pipes below Hollowness Capital. Even when it seems you've killed them, you need to stay on guard. Flukemom. The desire to breed, to leave behind a memory of ourselves in the shape of a child. It seems to be etched deep into the heart of every living creature. I too have felt the pull of that base instinct. Shardmite. I don't find this creature particularly notable or interesting. It should learn to fly or breathe flames or sing hauntingly. Anything to justify its existence. Glimback. Large and well protected, but slow and docile. The bugs of Hollowness used to force these creatures to carry around their carts and machines. Crystal Hunter. Make their homes all the way up at the top of the walls. Do they use the crystals willingly as weapons, or are they merely hosts and the crystals parasites? Husk Miner. The bugs of Hollowness lusted after the strangest things in life. They would dig furtively through the dirt for stone, or, and in particular, the crystals that grow at the top of the world. Crystallized Husk. There is some strange power hidden in the crystals that grow up there in the peaks. They gleam and glow in the darkness, a bright point of searing heat in each one. They sing too if you listen, very softly. Crystal Guardian. How does the world look to this creature, gazing out from within its crystal prison? Does it see only light? Is that what drives it into a frenzy? Furious Vengefly. The infection that passes from creature to creature grants strength and courage, but it also seems to enslave the will. Would you make such a bargain? Volatile Gruzzer. Horrible goo and noxious gas has started leaking down from above. Is there a source of all this pestilence? If so, I haven't seen it. Violent Husk. The bugs of Hollowness were twisted out of shape by that ancient sickness. First they fell into deep slumber, then they woke with broken minds, and then their bodies started to deform. Slobbering Husk. The infection that swept through Hollowness so long ago. They say that the harder you struggled against it, the more it consumed you. Dirt Carver. Springy and vicious, these hunters will try to overwhelm you with numbers in the dark, tight, twisting caverns they carve through the ground. Always be on your guard. Okay. I might be near the end, but I'm getting exhausted. I'm only gonna bother to read the descriptions of the ones that seem especially interesting. I'll cycle through all the entries long enough if you want to read them yourself, but yeah. I have to shorten this. I'm actually missing surprisingly few bestiary entries, pretty much only for, like, the creatures that you don't fight all that much. Nosk. In the deepest darkness, there are beasts who wear faces stolen from your memories and pluck at the strings in your heart. Know yourself and stay strong. Shadow Creeper. This little creeper is weak and poses no threat, but something about it still unsettles me. The way it moves and the noises it makes are strange somehow. Brooding Moloch. I hear this beast crying out sometimes as I prowl the caverns, although I've never actually laid eyes on it. Who or what is it calling for? As far as I can tell, its voice is never answered. Infected Balloon. The infection creeping through the kingdom's dead veins. Does it have a mind? Does it produce soul? Is it truly alive? Broken Vessel. The shape of this creature, I have seen something like it before. More than once, perhaps. It looks a little like the bugs of Hollownest, but not quite the same. Where did these empty little wanderers come from? Primal Aspid. These cruel foes will ambush you and relentlessly attack with their searing venom. How strange that their descendants are so weak. If I have children, I hope they will be far stronger than me. Grub Mimic. Luring an enemy close by pretending to be a weak little grub. Very cunning. Unfortunately for them, I eat these grubs as soon as I see them. Yeah, I seem to be missing more and more entries as I get into the later enemies, because I've been to those areas less and have thus fought those enemies less. This thing is called a Loodle. That is a great name. It seems like their energy is limitless. Do they ever stop to sleep, or eat, or love? Mantis Trader. Belonging to a tribe or not belonging, I don't really understand what the difference is or how it works. I have no tribe of my own. So the Mantis Traders are driven mad by the infection. It doesn't show in their eyes though, they don't have that orange glow. Trader Lord. I have felt that desire. The desire to take the infection into myself. To become stronger, more powerful. These thoughts haunt my dreams during the darkest times. A false hope, but it can burn so brilliantly in one's mind. Shielded Fool. That Colosseum is a strange place where some bugs fight each other to death and others watch. I don't understand such obscure rituals. If you venture in, stay on your guard at all times. Winged Fool. What do they hope for, these warriors fighting in the Colosseum? Are they slaves or prisoners, or do they freely choose to fight? Volt Twister supposedly lives on a diet of lumaflies and spends its entire life fighting in the arena or meditating in seclusion. An odd foe. Zote, a self-proclaimed knight of no renown. Wait, who wrote this entry? That's clearly false. Some rare creatures are so weak, so helpless, so inept, and so irritating that hunting them gives no pleasure. The true power of Zote. God Tamer, veteran warrior of the Colosseum of Fools, fights by the side of creatures she has trained. Some hunters train beasts to join them in chasing down prey. I tried it once, but couldn't resist the urge to test my companion's strength against mine. 0. A life defined by tragedy and triumph, a death marred by sorrow and regret, a spirit burdened by sins and memories. Better to wander the world than be cursed with glory. 0. Okay, so for the dreaming ones, the hunter doesn't have an entry because, of course, he could never interact with them. Only I can. So instead, it's a quote from them. That's pretty cool. Gorb. I am Gorb. Elder Hugh. Never forget what once was lost, yet do not let it tie you down. Mamu. If you believe in something as hard as you can, with your eyes shut tight, eventually it will come true. No eyes. They're coming. What's inside of you? Strip it out. Oh, now I understand their name. Ooh, that's brutal. Galleon. A knight strives not only to protect the land and its people, but the hopes and dreams of the kingdom. Markoth. May your efforts lead you somewhere worthy. Wingmold. The bugs of Hollownest believe that their king created this world and everything in it. For what purpose, I wonder? Were his subjects companions, or toys, or children? Such a mind seems unknowable. King's Mold. They say the old king died long ago, but his influence echoes around us still. A creature like that. What did he desire? Sibling. Fragment of a lingering will. Far down below us, beneath the kingdom, the air grows stiller and a sense of emptiness pervades. Can life flourish down there? If so, I will hunt it. Hornet. Skilled protector of Hollownest's ruins, wields a needle and thread. I have seen this nimble little creature. I thought her prey and pounced at her, but with a flash she stabbed me with a flying stinger and darted away. Could she be a hunter? Shade. Echo of a previous life. Each of us leaves an imprint of something when we die, a stain on the world. I don't know how much longer this kingdom can bear the weight of so many past lives.